Hey, I'm Kathy. This is my good friend Laura. This is the second video that we're making in our series about how to start a book club. Tonight we're going to talk to you about who to invite to join your book club.
First off, I think that you need to find people who have a common thread, not necessarily your best buddies or the people right next door to you in the neighborhood, but a common thread like maybe preschool. You've been to preschool with them, there are other parents there or even teachers, maybe church or work even, and small is better. I think the less people you have, the more likely everybody's going to be there. We have 11 members is what we started out with. We now have 10, and that is the perfect size.
I think when you're looking for people to join, first of all, don't feel like you have to choose all the members. I would pick a small core group and maybe encourage everybody to bring one friend along. You can still have a lot of intimacy within the group, but just have people that you trust and trust to make good decisions about who to invite. And I would say when you're looking, don't assume that you know who likes to read and who doesn't. You'll be surprised when you start talking about a book club at how many people love to read. But don't just try to pick people that you think spend all their day in the library. We've got one girl in particular in our book club that was not a reader until we started the book club, and she's great at faking it. She might read the first chapter of the book and come to book club with all these big questions, and we're sitting around going, wow, she read the book this time, and then you realize later on she only knew about the first 20 pages what happened. But it's given her a love for books, and now she reads pretty much everyone every time. But I would say what not to do is to only try to pick people that you think are these great avid readers.
And you always have to have somebody who maybe is the organizer, not necessarily they take charge and run it completely, but somebody who's going to like organize the list of books that you've read. We have somebody who's actually kept it since 1998 when we started. Every book we've read, every place the book club was held, who hosted it, when we had our Christmas dinners. So somebody needs to just kind of be in control of that, and pretty much you'll know that when you start after a couple times who that person is. They just kind of naturally come to the forefront and take over the organizing.
Another point would be to let the people know up front that it is a commitment. You don't really want to invite people that are going to say, oh, I'll come maybe 6 out of 12 times a year, but I've got to go watch ball games, or I'm in other book clubs, or I've got all these other commitments, because it really is important to be there. So you just want to make it known up front that you really do expect them to try to be there. Our book club now is so important to us, and we'll talk a little bit later about scheduling, but one of the best things to do is to plan one night a month, maybe the third Tuesday or something like that. We now plan our lives around book club. I mean, unless somebody is in the ER being stitched up, we're there at book club, and we assume everything else is going to be okay until we get back home that night.
It's the one night of the month that I make sure that I have nothing else scheduled. If I'm out of town, I hate it because I've missed it. So these women have become, they'll become like your therapists, the people that you talk to about all the things in your life, problems, happy times. And that's another reason to kind of keep it small, because they're the ones that you're going to tell everything to, and they become confidants, and it's stuff you might not necessarily want everybody else to know, and so you got to know you can trust them, and that's usually easier with a smaller group.
And then I would say also, have it going about a year, see how it's going, and then cut it off. It's tempting to want to try to add new members along because you're having so much fun and you want to share that joy with everybody else that you know.
And people will ask you
Absolutely.
if they can be a part of it, and it's hard to tell them no after you talk about how much you love it. So
yeah, it really is. And I just would say encourage them to start their own book club, because we have tried a couple times to bring people in. And not to sound exclusive, it's not about being exclusive, but it's really hard once you have a history to let other people come in and have them not feel left out already.
Or on the outside of the group. It's not fun for them, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. And so that's probably the correct way. After about a year, you probably ought to cut it off and stop at that point of inviting people in to try it. So.
But I would. I mean, I think that will get you started. Maybe make a list of people that you know that you would maybe like to get to know better, people that you know that like to read, people that just would be fun that you don't know if they like to read or not, and just do it.
Yep. We did, and it's the best thing that I've ever done. I love these women, so give it a shot.